Friends, darkness hates light, and political darkness hates political light. It has been a tremendous honour and a privilege to represent you for the last 15 years in the Western Australian Parliament. Now, whether I have represented your electorate or not, we come together with a shared value that every life, every human being has infinite value. And it has been a tremendous duty to continue to represent that view in the Western Australian Parliament. And I want to acknowledge a member from my party, the Honourable Neil Thompson, who's here on the steps of Parliament tonight, and also a member who's not from my party, the Honourable Kate Doust, who did an outstanding job for many, many years, including last year in the big debate. But friends, the most politically dark time that I have seen and experienced occurred last year. Last year, a so-called reform bill to the abortion law in Western Australia was passed by the very parliament that you are standing on the steps of this evening. And hidden within this bill is a provision that is the darkest of the laws in Western Australia. In this legislation that has now become law in our state, it is the case that if a baby miraculously survives an abortion procedure and is born alive, but is left to die, under the new law in Western Australia, the state coroner will no longer be investigating those deaths. This is political darkness shrouded by political darkness. Darkness hates light. The mere possibility that there would be an investigation into the deaths of these youngest Western Australians, has caused the Health Minister of Western Australia to bring forth this law proudly to make sure that there can be no investigation into these deaths. Why is it that these Western Australians deserve a lesser standard of health care than anyone else? Why is it that these Western Australians deserve a lesser quality of justice than anybody else? Just today in parliamentary question time, I received a very dark answer from the government, which confirmed that on the 9th of April this year, the state coroner gave the order in the coroner's court to close the files of the 28 Western Australian babies that had been born and left to die. And the most reprehensible part of that, friends, is that in 26 of those cases, those files have been with the state coroner for 5 years awaiting investigation. And instead of diligently undertaking that inquiry, there has been delay after delay after delay. In this place behind me, I can't tell you how many times I've heard the phrase that justice delayed is justice denied. Well, in the case of these 28 Western Australians, the delay has been so long that it is now permanently denied. This is political darkness shrouded in political darkness. So friends, as Darryl has asked us to do this evening, to contemplate on the severity of the very matter that we're standing for this evening, we have to ask ourselves, what is it that we can do in this situation? It's not, for some of you, you have been here year after year after year. Maybe there are some of you who are here for the first time tonight. But for those who have been here before, you've known we have talked about this time and time again, and yet for the outcome to be that the Parliament of Western Australia last year would shroud this dark law with further darkness makes us feel entirely exasperated and hopeless and helpless. But I want to leave you with this note this evening, friends, that there is one thing that the lawmakers in Western Australia can never stop. And that's the capacity of every one of us to support a pregnancy support centre. Surely our aspiration ought to be that any Western Australian mother who finds herself in a situation of an unexpected pregnancy, that she is surrounded by so much support that the thought of the abortion is unthinkable to her. And friends, the darkest of laws cannot stop that. We're about to head into the month of June. It's end of financial year season. I genuinely and sincerely ask you to consider, is there a pregnancy assistance office or support centre near you that you can help and support in a financial way as we lead into the end of the financial year? The members of Parliament and the lawmakers behind me, they cannot stop you from doing that. And the very best way that we can respond to this darkness is with light. Friends, as I conclude, there are a few people that I wish to acknowledge. First of all, I acknowledge each and every one of you that are here this evening, that have come here on a Wednesday night, invested your time in this critical cause to try to see an end to this darkest of laws. Thank you for being here this evening. Thank you to the Coalition for the Defence for Human Life for organising this for the 26th years. Thank you for those of you who founded this 26 years ago and have handed over the baton in perpetuity to the people that are behind me. Thank you to Marika, thank you to Daryl and the rest of the organising committee for everything that you've done here this evening. But friends, there are a couple of other people that I specifically want to acknowledge tonight. Somewhere in the crowd is my friend Henry. Now, my friend Henry is the father of Josiah, who spoke earlier. Henry and I went to school together, and my friend Henry is a hero. You see, this is a man who faithfully stood beside his wife and continues to do so to this day. But you see, my friend Henry, the very first thing that he will say is that the real hero here is his wife, Marika, and I know that she'll be out here in the crowd tonight. And Henry is right. And yet my friend Marika will also be the first to say that the real hero here is Josiah. And Marika is right. But I'll end on this note, friends, because Josiah said it himself, is that there's one person who's the greater hero of all. And that's the person that created Josiah, wonderfully and fearfully made, and he acknowledged him tonight. God the Creator, thank you very much.